The views and opinions of the host and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
The aftermath of every social revolution brings about change. Cultural norms and landmarks shift as our minds and hearts expand beyond the familiar. To everything, there is a season and a time to every purpose in the land of the living. This is our time to renew, revive, and restore the hope lost to the busyness of life. This is our time to dig again and rebuild from the storms of our past on a solid footing that holds. Welcome to The Foundation.
The Foundation.
The Foundation with Heart Grant is brought to you by Alive, Baja Retreat and Spa, Bond for Bones, Burger King, Commonwealth Bank, Da Vinci Printing Innovators, ESC Distributors Limited, Grand Bahama News, the IAAF, Road Relays Bahamas, and Marco's Pizza.
Dancing till the morning. Brought me girlfriend out the gate side waiting. Gate side waiting till the morning. But this a long time, girl, me never see you. Brr, come make me hold your run. I me see come make me wheel and turn ya. Come make we do the shaky, 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 shake. I me see one step back, I me see two step forward. Rub and go down and then you rub and come up. Cause it's a rubber dub evening. Bim, the people them tired of freaking.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. 96.9 FM radio. Howard Grant in your company, The Foundation. It is a Friday evening. Is it? Yesterday was Thursday. It's a Friday. It's Friday, ladies and gentlemen. I'm happy to be in your company. It's a beautiful day. Make sure you pick up your Guardian newspaper. Though it's midday, I don't know if you got that information at the top of the morning. So make sure you pick up your Guardian newspaper. It's all in there. You can be able to see exactly what's what and follow along. It's important that we be a part of this sort of progressive concept in our country as we continue to be able to move forward, upward, onward together, or supposedly. Talk to me. In the space of decency, we got to talk like this. Today, ladies and gentlemen, the lines are wide open. And, put anything on the table. Let's talk about those things and see exactly what's what. Friday's supposed to be sort of a laid-back day. So we're going to talk about those things. But before we get into that, as we sort of wrap up this particular week, all week we've been pushing this. And we want you guys to go down to Baja Retreat. These are my good, decent people, man. Mr. McKenzie down there, he's a good, decent man. Always being able to reach out to us and support us from this particular space. I am grateful to him for being able to do these things. I know that we're going to talk even more about some things that's going to be happening on Mother's Day, right? So as Mother's Day kind of, creeps up, you guys are getting prepared for that. He's putting something out there as a prerequisite to let you know that, get yourself, you may be a little bit tense. You may be having some issues. There's a knot in your back and your shoulder and so forth and so on that you kind of need to be rubbed out. Let's talk about those things and go down to Baja Retreat. Make sure you check them out. They have a spa week. Spa week is here. $55 and up for spa treatments. Available, but only at Baja Retreat. They have the best spa week ever. Spa week gift certificate starts at $55 and up. Stop by and purchase your gift certificate at their locations on East Bay Street or give them a call at 323-6711. That's 323-6711, or purchase the gift certificate at www.bajaretreat.com. BajaRetreat.com. You can get your massages, your facials, your manicures, your pedicures, your body sugaring at the best deals ever. During Spa Week, you can also get 20% off and more on all retail products like Eminence Organic Skin Products, Pure Fiji Body Oil Products, and Chamomile Rose Hair Products. You can get all those particulars right down there at Baja Retreat. It's Spa Week time, and you deserve the absolute best. Treat yourself or treat someone special. Give them a call at 323-6711. That's 323-6711. Or hit them up 544-1855. That's 544 1-855 www.baharetreat.com. Check them out on Facebook and Instagram. And don't forget to purchase your Spa Week gift certificates online, guys, baharetreat.com. I'm grateful to you guys for being able to always kind of hook us up and give us significant discounts so we can present that to our audience so they can kind of, because sometimes we're tense. Let's just be decent about it. Sometimes we're very tense. We want to be able to do that. If you're in the market right now for some printing stuff. Now, we talked about this, and I'm decent as possible. Was it yesterday? Yesterday, we had a great opportunity to be able to talk to Miss Jones from The Box Gourmet, right? The Box 242, you can be able to check her out on Facebook. And one of the things she actually indicated is that she never recognized her true strength, though she had the ability to do some stuff until COVID-19. This is what she says, right? She says COVID-19 brought about this sort of an idea for her to be able to do those gourmet stuff. She gave me some cookies yesterday. I took it home. My kids love it. My wife love it. I bought a couple for the persons in here. I wanted to support her business, right? And all persons are saying that they love it. I want to make a point to you. There's a lot of us out here, a lot of persons out here, they have this kind of an idea behind their frontal lobe. It continues to be able to, pace the floor of their consciousness, right? Back and forth, back and forth. Every so often, you can be able to see it pacing in the corner, trying to make a determination as to whether or not you should really be able to give it significant attention. And that pacing is, I want to write a book. I want to write a book. I want to open up a business. I want to do this. I want to do that. But if you're one of those persons who's pacing back and forward in your mind and you're saying that you want to be able to write a book, but you don't know where to go, who's going to do my graphics, who's going to print it, who's going to do this, who's going to do that, go and check out Da Vinci's Printers and Innovators. Printing Innovators. Go and check them out. I am absolutely, thoroughly impressed with them, man. I just got to be honest with you. I went down there. If I'm going to be absolutely honest with you, I tell you I move, all right? Ain't heavy all your business. But anyway, out northeast area, right? So I needed to print something to present for like a little proposal, something that I did. Now I've already sent the soft copy, the electronic copy. And so I needed a hard copy to go with it. And I normally go to someplace, Carmichael, all the way out there. And, I go on Robinson Road somewhere, right? But I said something. I said, something? After reading this book every morning, and Kevin indicating that Da Vinci actually did this book, Kevin L.A. Ewing, who did his book. After reading this book, I said, something? Let's try this Da Vinci. Walked inside there, blew my mind. Beyond the fact that Da Vinci supported our girl, Georgette Gardner, from over in Fox Hill, right? The festival committee. Beyond the fact that we know that they're community partners, when I walked into Da Vinci, it blew my mind. I just want to be as decent as possible to say that. If you're in the market, if you're in that kind of a space, and you want to check these things out, it's right on the side of Bank of the Bahamas in the Burnett Road Shopping Plaza area. It's right on the side of Bank of the Bahamas. You walk in there, and you're going to be thoroughly impressed. All those little ideas that you have, someone's birthday coming up, you can buy a nice little tumbler. Talk to me. You can print something unique on the tumbler. You can get graphics done in the space. You can get all these things done. Walk into Da Vinci, man. These guys got you taken care of. They got all nice little books, little diaries, little things like journals and stuff like that. You can be able to purchase those things. They frame your pictures. Listen to me. Go check out Da Vinci. These guys got some nice stuff in there, man. Make sure you check them out. Let them know that Howard sent you. Howard say y'all got good things in there. See if they can give you a little extra 15%. Talk to me. Let's make these things happen, guys. And last but definitely not least, I got to shout out to my good, decent people over at AFS Insurance Agents and Brokers. They got everything laid out for you. If you're in the market for your insurance, right? Whether you get your SDs, whether you get your taxis, your jitneys, they do in-house financing. Now, my good friend Astrid Bo says that he's getting good response. A lot of persons are coming in saying that, yeah, I hear you talk. Howard is talk with you all the time. Okay, praise God. Now, let's see if that'll translate to a little Slack thing. Praise God. We can talk to Ethric and see if we can make that happen for you guys. But I'm going to be honest with you. All my cars are insured with these guys. All my vehicles are insured with these guys. So you want to go down there and check them out. They are the most affordable. Before I was doing any of this radio thing, I went down there. Not because of relationship, because of broke ship in my pocket. Then they were affordable. They got me up and going when I first came here in the city, and I've never left them. And I want you to know they give me consistency, persistence, and they are proactive in their customer service. Check them out. 341-1AFS, 341-1AFS. In-house financing for all those persons who are in the market for the SDs, the taxis, the jitneys. They can take good care of you. Make sure you check them out and take advantage of those things that are happening. They're open on Saturdays. So check them out on Saturdays and be able to do that. Guys, if you are in the market, in this sort of a space where you want to be able to bring your product, I see Drifters came here. Drifters say they want to be able to do something with us. Willie stopped by. Shouts out to Willie. Willie, I hope you're doing well, my brother. I got to get one octopus salad for my wife. Listen, when we row, I can come for one, all right? And make sure you give me a live one, just in case she talked too much. Praise God. Let's see if the suction's still working. I'm just joking. Make sure you go check out Willie, my guy. Take care of yourself on this weekend, man. This is a beautiful weekend. I see it's a little overcast. I had to put my dog inside. So make sure you take care of yourself on this weekend and go out, man. I got to say that. I think a lot of my cousins was here the other day. I told you this. My cousin, I hadn't seen my cousin in years. We spoke, you know. It's a peculiar thing how we live on an island, and we're an island nation. And you would go to high school and see people every single day, right? Talk to me. You go to high school, you see people every single day, all right? And then you go on you graduate from high school, and you don't see these people for 7 years. You don't see these people for 12 years. Nobody moved nowhere. Everybody's still right here on this one island. But it's just that, you know, I guess you lead different lives in different spaces. But nonetheless, I haven't seen my cousin for a long time. And he showed up. But I always told you about him, right? He showed up to my house about a week and a half ago when we had that 6 shootings. The 6 or 7 persons got shot the same day. He showed up earlier that day. He said, "Hey, what's up, boy? Here's my lord." Outside my house, right? So I was like, what the hell is going on outside, right? Trying to, you know, I had my eyes closed. I wasn't sleeping, right? So, my lord. I said, what the hell is going on? I get up. It's my cousin outside. So I hail him. His dreads now are almost by his calf, right? Long hair. So I said, boy, I see you in a long time, right? So we embrace, we talk, we smile, we embrace. And, you know, we exchange pleasantries, try to catch up as quick as possible. And he said, let's hang out tonight. So I said, okay, let's hang out tonight. Now, I didn't know what that meant. I knew what it meant, but I don't know what it means. It's a whole different situation. So I said to him, I said, all right, let's hang out tonight. So he said, all right, I can come back for you. I said, no, I need to come back for me. I could come and get you, because he was with people. So I said, I'll come and get you. I knew where he was staying. So he said, okay, no problem. About an hour after he left, in my mind, and I'm trying to get ready, where am I going to go, so forth and so on, my phone rings off. A couple of people got shot. And then a little while after, a couple of people got... So I called him back. I said, listen, man, I love you very much. I just want to let you know this. I love you very much, but I'm not going to be traveling tonight. I can't even get no email. I'm not going nowhere. Not tonight. And so I didn't go anywhere. And it's an unfortunate thing that we're confined to our spaces because of the crime that exists around us. And I don't know whether or not I have a fear of crime, because I know that it exists, but I have a fear of being intercepted by crime in the act. No, I don't want to be in the middle of that. And so I go nowhere in these, and I don't know where my cousin won't go. He's a peculiar guy. So he may want to go around these places. I'm not prepared. Right? And so we don't go. I say all that to say, I don't think that we should allow our external environment to stop us from being able to break bread and share as a community. I think that's very important. I guess we have to be conscious of where we're going. I see some environments are charged, but you know where to go. There's some good, decent places that you go. We've been talking a tremendous amount. DJ Beats has come here, sat with us sometime, I think last week, invited me and my wife to come out to Margaritaville, where they're going to be doing some great stuff. I think he said he has Visage. Was it Visage? Visage that he has coming down there. And, you can get in at a particular rate. It gives you access to the buffet, so forth and so on. There are some great places that you can go. I don't think that we have to be confined to a relentless Netflix and chill. Come on, talk to me. These are unproductive Netflix and chill. No one's getting pregnant. It doesn't make sense. Let's just go out and enjoy ourselves. But let's find some decent places to go out. So hopefully, if you are one of these decent places, that persons could go out and be able to have a good time and enjoy themselves, I want to be able to extend that to you, to come on here or provide me your information so I can talk about it. I think it's important that we do that. I see some people talking about some old school stuff. I don't know. I feel like an old man, right? Because none of these things are interesting to me anymore. Like I don't even bother. I got a good call from a very good friend at 8 Mark last night, and he indicated to me that they got something going on down in Turks and Caicos, the best of the best, right? So I just want to kind of read this for you, and then I'm sure as time progresses, we're going to hear more and more about this on all radio stations. But he sent this information to me, and he wants me to be able to kind of talk about it. So I'd be more than happy to do that. Let's talk about it. So it says, best of the best, Bahamas and Turks and Caicos concert weekend in Providenciales from June 27th to June 29th. Best of the best. Come ride with us. They got some great sponsors there. All the information's in there. Bahamas Air is a part of this, and you can be able to do that. British Airways. They got everything there. They're going to be staying over at Porter Calls. It is the best of the best. Let me see who they got performing at this best of the best concert. Let me see. All right, so they got Avi. They got who is this? KB. They got some great people here. You can find out more information about it. I want you guys to go there. I'm sure he has a website up or whatnot. It's going to be best of the best in Turks and Caicos. Elon Moxie, Veronica Bishop, D-Mac, KB, Gino D, Sweet Emily, Nisi Ellis, Stevie S, and like I said, Avi also. All these persons are going to be performing. It's going to be good, man. I think this is for sort of the grown and, what you call yourselves, grown and sexy? I don't know. I don't know. I just grown and tired. I don't know. I don't, the sexy thing, I think we've just put it up. I don't think we should be married and calling ourselves sexy. It's an abomination. We need to stop. We need to stop and get our minds together, okay? We're too old for this TikTok thing, this social media thing. We can observe it, but we should never apply it. Let's just be decent as possible. And so you can be able to come and break bread with people your age without having to wonder whether or not you can get on your head also and do all these things. Enjoy yourself in these particular spaces and do that. You're going to hear more and more of the best and the best as we continue to be able to move forward and talk about those things. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, the lines are wide open. If you want to be a part of the conversation, I'd love you to do that. Give me a call, 323-6232. 325-431-6325, 4259. Anywhere for the family of islands, 242-300-5720. Hit me at 422-4796. Some information's in the paper. There's a great deal of speculation, right? There's a great deal of social speculation in the political atmosphere. It is charged significantly. I try to think to myself, is there going to be a day that we don't talk about politics? I don't know. I enjoyed the thing. So I'm not going to be able to fight it. But I've heard some significant speculations, right? And my phone has gone to another level as it relates to the telephone calls that I'm getting and the kind of conversations. Now, I just want to be decent with y'all. I've been an observer from a political standpoint for a very long time, from the far distant. And you give me a microphone, and so I give you my analysis, my breakdown, and I can give you a contrast to what I've seen before. Now, as a result of that, I recognize the nature of human beings who are in their political environment. I've recognized the nature. And I've recognized that it has become incumbent upon those persons who seek to pursue certain positions from a political standpoint to safeguard themselves. And for those persons who have ulterior motives to be able to tear those people down, they too seek to be able to join in conversations and be very skullduggish. I'm just saying that. We've observed in the political field that people are being recorded day in and day out. When my phone lick off with numbers that I don't know, especially my personal phone that I don't give out that number, when that licks off with numbers that I don't know, and I hear a particular voice that I may recognize from someplace, or that should be decent, I assume that I'm being recorded. 100%, am I wrong? 100% I assume, based upon the environment that has been charged in this country over the past 5 to 7 years, I assume that I am being recorded. And so I say nothing to anyone that I won't say in this particular space. I just want to be as decent as possible as I say that. I do my best to remain steadfast and stand in my convictions. I continue to be able to grapple with this sort of an idea when things are presented to me, whether or not this is a direction that I've been called to, or whether or not my flesh seeks to be able to enjoy this thing. Come on, talk to me. We have to be sober-minded, ladies and gentlemen. Politics time is coming up. There is relentless suggestions to move in one direction or another. The Prime Minister has taken on a position after he heard criticisms from Branville McCartney, and very strategically started to indicate, and I thought it was peculiar. I want to play the clip for you. Let me give you the numbers. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, anywhere from the family violence, 242-300, 5720, or hit me up 422-4796. It's 1236. Let me take this quick commercial break, ladies and gentlemen, and be right back. When we get back, we're going to talk a little bit about, let me see if I can find this clip. We can talk about that when we get back right after this.
Foundation. The foundation. The foundation.
It's Spa Week, we got what you need. Sit back, relax, and come in for a treat. We just wanna make you smile. We will go the extra mile at Baja Retreat Spa.
Come visit us at Baja Retreat Spa on East Bay Street. Contact us at 323-6711 or visit us online at www.baharetreat.com.
Bring your family, bring your friends, bring your gal. Come witness history in the making at the 2024 World Athletic Relays Chase the Sun, Paradise to Paris, happening here in Nassau, Bahamas. Hundreds of the best runners from more than 40 countries will compete for their place in the 2024 Paris Olympics, May 4th and 5th at the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium. Get your tickets early at worldrelaysbahamas24.org or at the Andre Rogers Baseball Stadium box office.
The Grand Bahama News is available every Tuesday in the Nassau Guardian. You can buy your local paper at Freeport convenience stores, Western Bakery, De Gregory's Fine Foods, and Bellevue Gifts. Now is the time to reach your Grand Bahama Market with affordable packages, including print and digital. Call GB News sales representative Kavandre at 822-6717 or message him on WhatsApp for ad rates. Classified ads are now available every Tuesday as well. Keep up with everything Grand Bahamian every Tuesday in the Nassau Guardian.
Foundation. Foundation. The foundation. The foundation. Foundation. The foundation.
The foundation. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, 96.9 FM radio. Howard Grant in your company, The Foundation. It is a glorious Friday afternoon, live and in full effect. So happy to be in your company. I am still scrolling through my phone. But it's one of those times when you kind of, I pop my phone open in the morning to see, if anything, after I roll over, I give God praise, I'm here. Praise God, I got up. I popped my phone out and just kind of check it out to see exactly whether or not there's anything new. And at the top of the thing, I saw the Prime Minister. My God, if I could tell you what he says, because I don't want to be able to seem as though, it'd feel like you're politically nitpicking against the position that the Prime Minister has taken on these particular things. But for me, it's not that. For me, it's just language. It's just a mindset associated with it. And it's just this sort of an idea of progression and growth. Right? I am a firm believer. Oh God, I just want to be decent. Guys, the line's open. I am a firm believer that if we seek to kind of move into the future, if we're moving into the future, the inevitability of it's here. We're moving into the future. We're going to need vision to be associated with that. And this isn't to say that the Prime Minister doesn't have vision, but certain languages don't align with the objective, the overarching objective. And I think it's imperative that we understand how to align our language with our course, our path. And I think it goes for everyone from a political standpoint, right? I think for the most part, a lot of men and women seek to be performing, to perform before you from a political standpoint. They seek to perform before you. They seek to present themselves as performers, right? So they got to put on an act for you. It's going to come a time where you need to be able to be transparent, that you're going to be able to need to be a little bit vulnerable. Talk to me. The vulnerability is going to be crucial as you present yourself to the Bahamian people, because we've seen this before. We've seen the talking points. We've seen the rhythm. We've seen the excitability. We've seen the frequency and tone. We've seen that you understand how to manipulate your word and be able to align your actions and excitability. But the application, the deed in which we speak of, is far off. I say that. And I say that to everyone who has aspirations to move towards leadership this time and into the future. We need new leadership. We need a new type of leader in this country. You can't hit us with yesterday and expect us to move with tomorrow. We can't. You can't hit us with the style and the rhythm and the theatrics of yesterday and expect us, this broken generation of men and women who have not been built, and you haven't taken time to pour into us to move with the rhythm of yesterday. We are unfamiliar with that. We don't understand that. We do understand vulnerability. I think that's universal. We do understand that one innate aspect that human beings have for being able to make a judgment and deeper discernment by being able to look past what you say and feel what you mean. If you don't have that as your leader, I don't know if you're going anywhere. I don't. I've been accused significantly over the past couple of weeks for supporting one political party or another, and I think it's bananas. I really do. I think it's big wild. I'm talking about jumbo bananas. That you believe I support one party or another. I think I do my best to try to remain transparent in where I believe the country should go. And I'd like to say that. I support none of these men. I wait with bated breath to hear and see whether or not they have the commitment to the future of this country, the commitment of being able to move this country forward. I'll give you an example. I'm indifferent. I had a conversation yesterday. They were asking me, very, very frank conversation, Howard, what are your thoughts about this, and this, right? And this was someone I respect from a political standpoint. I understand his aspirations and his move towards being able to grow significantly within political organizations, right? So he and I had a frank conversation. He's positioned in politics right now. He spoke with me. I hadn't heard from him for a while. And as I spoke to him about vulnerability. I spoke to him about the new dispensation of leaders. And I spoke to him about the fact that I didn't understand this Grand Bahama Port Authority position. I didn't. And I'm going to say that to you now. I see your telephone call. Just give me 2 seconds. I do not understand why the government of the Bahamas seeks to be able to go against the Grand Bahama Port Authority. I do understand that the government of the Bahamas is in dire need of the finances, and whatever it is owed, locally, internationally, whoever, it needs to be able to collect for the purposes of being able to keep buoyant, physically buoyant. I understand that. I'm not fighting it. But I don't understand if this administration is seeking PPPs, public-private partnerships, right? And the Grand Bahama Port Authority has opened its position and opened its, this concept and idea that they're going to tender, they're making modifications. They have 1.5 billion or more in investments and commitments to Grand Bahama. They've shown us this kind of a presentation. They've done all these things to show that we're going to make the significant effort. They've come here in Nassau. They've opened up this office, so forth and so on. And it seems as though that the government of the Bahamas is presenting them with a sort of an iron fist. Hey, listen, there's no two ways about it. The Port Authority has presented this concept and idea to come to the forefront and indicate that we believe that we're trying to be, for want of a better word, bullied, right, or scared out of this kind of a position of our 50% position within the Port Authority. And I'm looking at this and I said to myself, this doesn't make any sense. None of this. The government's strong arm position to be able to indicate that we're giving you 30 days to take on this kind of a position. And the Port Authority's position is say that we're not going to be moved. You're just trying to scare us out of our 50% stakeholders position. This is none of this makes sense to me. None of it. None. And then I looked at it. I looked deeper into leadership. The leader of our country is over 70. The head of the Port Authority in the person of Rupert Hayward is, I think he's a year older than I am. So if I be 43, he's about 44, 45, someplace in that. And he's a stone throw away from me in age. Okay? This is the disparity in leadership. His focus has been on Blue Labs, right? And restoration and revival for the coral reef, so forth and so on. His opportunities is expansive. We've had significant conversations with him. We've gone over to Grand Bahama. We had the rejuvenation tour. We had an exclusive with him. Had a 2-hour conversation where I thought went phenomenal. I'm going to play that again one of these. I think next week we're going to play that again, right? It went phenomenal. And being able to do these things. And I'm absolutely baffled by this government. I'm baffled that this government doesn't seek to be able to negotiate the position of not only the Grand Bahama Port Authority, but Grand Bahama and present it to the globe, present it to the world. Grand Bahama can be, based upon the technological infrastructure that exists there, that we've been hearing about, the fiber that continues to run underneath the seabed, on the seabed, to Grand Bahama from the United States of America, top-notch infrastructure. Grand Bahama is poised geographically from a technological infrastructure standpoint. Its posture, the land size, mass, so forth and so on, and the potential for Grand Bahama is poised to be the Silicon Valley of the Caribbean. Why nobody could see this? The government of the Bahamas has opened up an office in California, which is a wonderful thing. Why not have conversations of being able to go to Silicon Valley, go off to China, to Japan, have conversations. That's what you should spend your money on. Have conversations with these people, bring them and pitch a vision for Grand Bahama. Why are we fighting them for $357 million? 10 years after you purchase the Grand Bahama Port Authority, the Grand Bahama Grand Lucayan Hotel. 10 years. 10 years after you purchased the thing. Almost. Was it 10? No, was it 6? 6 years. 6 years. You purchased it for $60 million over 6 years. That's $10 million a year. It's gone to naught. You made a commitment to the Bahamian people that we're going to get $100 million for this, and that's gone to naught. You came back to the Bahamian people and made significant commitments to what's going to be happening for West Grand Bahama, and that's gone to naught. You start to talk to us more specifically of being able to fortify the Ministry of Grand Bahama, and we're seeing nothing in that. This is no longer this kind of a position where you go heads up. It's not serving, not your administration, not the Grand Bahama Port Authority, and definitely not the people of Grand Bahama. No one is making sense to me. This is just Howard, as a 40-some-year-old young man who could be able to see these things. I have access to TikTok, to all the Instagram things. I don't look at the girls dancing and so forth and so on. I look for tech and conspiracy theories, but we don't talk about that. I look for tech. What's new in the technological fields? And I realize that Grand Bahama is poised for greatness. It is. But no one can see that. If you consume with an idea that you've just got almost 9 million tourists and we don't see that money being able to matriculate on the ground, then we have to ask whether or not you're still impactful in your position, in your leadership role. That's all this is. That's all this is. Are you making an impact? This is not political. I do not care about your politics. I don't care if you vote for PLP or FNM. That has nothing to do with me. The only thing I care about is to identify leadership. And I seek to boast about leadership who does a tremendous job. And even if I have to identify a leader and push everyone else to a side and say, this is phenomenal, like we did with Chester Cooper. And what we started to talk about with what y'all call the space junk, which was still a phenomenal opportunity, because just like the eclipse and how everybody ran to Middle America and they had to call the Coast Guard, people will run to see these earthly phenomena, this man-made phenomenon, when things are going off into this will always happen. This was a good move. And that is leadership. That is legacy for him in his position as a member of parliament. Beyond his position as deputy prime minister, beyond his position as minister of tourism, this is phenomenal for the people of Exuma. And he continues to be able to strike me in that particular stead. I do not understand why we fighting. Let me take this telephone call. Caller, go ahead. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, Howard, how you doing?
I'm good, man.
Yeah, I appreciate the statement you made where you don't recognize the number, you're not answering. Quite frankly, the generation of cell phones we have now, you can't turn them off.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to remember that. They have a CMOS chip in it that's supported by a battery that stays alive forever, and other people can turn them on because they're made by those other people. But, Howard, I am watching this, I can't call it progress, but I call it this regression where the Bahamian way of life is facing extinction.
Mm-hmm.
Because there is a conversation that has been held for quite some time by simply, is it possible that we could take all of the Bahamians and put them in an Agua and repopulate all the northern islands closer to America? That's why the U.S. is building an embassy not so close to those people who are trying to change our way of life. Howard, have a wonderful day.
You sound like you were in the same conspiracy theories, things that I watch. No. Let's just be decent about it. The Bahamian way of life is a facade. It's not. It's nothing. It's nothing. It's nothing. And I don't say that I don't say that disparagingly. I say that because we're not cemented in our own position. My God, in any subsector of the culture that we have identified, we have watered it down with external elements. Every single element that we've identified historically to say that this is authentically Bahamian, we have then, with new dispensations and new leaders, we call it evolution, the evolution of our culture. And we incorporate some external element to be able to give it the fanfare and the pizzazz that attracts a wider audience. Whether or not we take our Junkanoo element, my God, see, y'all can cause me get beat up today. But let's get beat up. Whether or not we take our Junkanoo element, the core and concept that it meant and what it means to the Bahamian people from John Canoe era, and going back to the stories that we heard about Boxing Day and what it meant to the Bahamian people or to the slaves at that time, it had evolved into this Junkanoo, now carnival. And when we hear this kind of a carnival aspect was introduced to the forefront, it had to do with fanfare and attractability, which is bananas. Absolute garbage. But this is how you set it up. Nobody fighting you. The Bahamian way of life is a facade. It's not real. It's not real. We have accepted even modifications to your peas and rice. My God. The next thing we can do is put raisins in the potato salad and then call that Bahamian. I joke. No one tried that. Let's be decent. Our culture and what we identify as a standard is fluid. There is nothing cement about what we believe. There is nothing cement about our convictions, our strength, and our determination. There is nothing. The only thing that I identify, and I'm playing devil's advocate today, the only thing that I've identified that we can agree on is our dislike. Whether that is our dislike for another culture, whether that is our dislike for a political organization, whether or not that's our dislike or our disdain for things that goes contrary to the comforts that we've enjoyed. That's it. We agree to disagree. So when I hear people start to talk about the Bahamian way of life, I know it ain't real. Because you allow your politicians to go around the world and bring concepts and ideas and introduce it to you, and you'd say, well, you know, it is what it is. We ain't fighting for nothing. And then when it changed, all we could do is look back in retrospect and say, boy, whatever happened to the good old days? Let's have a real conversation, ladies and gentlemen. It is 12:56. We got to take one more commercial break. We're going to get to news and be right back. The lines are going to be open, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to join me in conversation today. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Anywhere from the family violence, 242-300, 5720, or hit me up 422-4796. Quick break. Be right back after this.
Foundation.
Contact Da Vinci Printing Innovators today for all your printing needs. Customized receipt books, NCR forms, invitations, event tickets, program booklets, business and ID cards, flyers, posters, and banners. There's scanning, printing, lamination, and binding services. Also, a variety of office supplies. No design? No problem. Dedicated graphic designers are ready to serve you. Da Vinci Printing Innovators, located in the Village Road Shopping Plaza. Stop in or call 677-2922 or browse services online at www.davinciprinting242.com, where printing is an art.
It's Spa Week, we got what you need. Sit back, relax, and come in for a treat. We just wanna make you smile. We will go the extra mile at Baja Retreat Spa.
Come visit us at Baja Retreat Spa on East Bay Street. Contact us at 323-6711 or visit us online at www.baharetreat.com.
Why settle for an ordinary burger when you can indulge in the new Farmhouse King at Burger King Nassau? Sink your teeth into 2 juicy flame-grilled beef patties piled high with crisp bacon, American cheese, crispy onions, a fried egg, and a spicy mayo sauce that adds bold flavor to every bite. Enjoy the new Farmhouse King as a combo with fries and a drink, or if you're feeling extra hungry, try the King's Feast, available exclusively at Burger King Nassau.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Foundation. Foundation.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. I found that clip for you right here on the foundation, chopping the thing down. Just want to be able to talk about these things. I want to scrutinize the Prime Minister. I just want to be able to highlight what I mean. What am I talking? Howard, what you talk? What I am talking about as it relates to language for a specific dispensation. All right? This is a clip from ZNS. I'm going to be able to play this clip very quickly. They interviewed the Prime Minister, what looks like in the front of Fish Fry, about Branville's position, being able to support former Prime Minister and possibly being able to return as Prime Minister. The Prime Minister had a few things to say, but something popped out to me. And it sort of dug underneath the surface of my skin. Why would he use that specific word? Let's not fight. It's words. But let's talk about these particular things. Can you play it? All right. Let's see if we can find another one and play that for me, please, and be able to talk about those things. Just a very short clip. It's just from 024 to 115. I want to be able to play that so you could be able to say it. The Prime Minister talked more specifically about inherited. That's all I want to say. I thought that was peculiar and unique, that he said inherited. So when he finds, I'm going to producer finds that, I want to be able to say that. He says, I don't fight anybody for their position. I don't fight anybody for the things that they say and so forth and so on, but look at what I've inherited. Look at what I've inherited. And I thought it was peculiar. And I looked all the way back from, I think it was 1992 to 1997 when he was initially brought into the House of Assembly as a member of Parliament and came back in 2002. I thought it was peculiar that he would use a word after relentless pursuits from a political, within his political organizations to eventually find himself at the top of the hill of all politics, leader of the pack, an apex political predator, to use a word like inherited. This is what you fought for. This is the country that has been broken for a long time, that sought leadership, that sought vision, that sought a Moses for a very long time. I'm going to talk about it. Let me know when you're ready.
Days after former Democratic National Alliance leader Branville McCartney said Dr. Hubert Minnis should get a second shot as Prime Minister because his agenda was disrupted by COVID-19 and Hurricane Dorian, Prime Minister Philip Davis asserted he has also inherited challenges during his term, but his administration is working to overcome them.
Look at what I've inherited when I came into office. I inherited a financial crisis. I inherited a health crisis, and of course, I inherited this old high cost of living crisis. And we're dealing with all of them. And I know they are baffled and confused by how we can have the successes that we've been having because of what we've done to help the least amongst us, like cutting taxes. VAT went from 12 to 10, like raising the minimum wage.
McCartney, who served as a cabinet minister in the Ingram administration before resigning and leaving the Free National Movement to form the DNA, said he believes the Minnis administration can do a better job than the Davis administration.
And I think that's peculiar. That's it. We can talk about it. The lines are open if you want to have a conversation with me. Let's do that. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Anywhere for the family of violence, 242-300-5720. Is inherited warranted in this particular position? I don't know if I inherited it. The tribulation that your wife may have, the indifference that she may have, she be a little bit rowdy. Maybe she's put celery in her food and you don't like celery in your sauce. Have you inherited that? Or did you fight for that? Did you pursue that? Did you ask for that? Did you see something deeper in her, despite these small challenges, that we can definitely work out and get to a particular possession or position? Have you inherited tribulation? Or have you acquired this greater desire to be able to move forward? The Prime Minister is the alpha dog. He is the alpha apex predator from a political standpoint in this country. Every politician coming for his job. Everyone. Even the men and women that serve as his pleasure quietly have aspirations to lead the pack. And I don't know whether or not they will just merely inherit it in this sort of a concept and idea. This is what it is. This is what it is. Political leaders, even from 1992 and far beyond, let's take former Prime Minister Hubert Ingraham. Former Prime Minister Hubert Ingraham, despite all the good that he would have done, there is significant that we, the people, can identify that he did not do, that he did not identify. If we look right in his constituency and said, you could have done better. You should have done better with the mud and pigeon peas. Why have you allowed that to expand to that particular position? Does the next leader inherit that? Let's talk about it. When we look at Lyndon Pinland, former Prime Minister Lyndon Pinland, in the position that he's taken, and we look at the indifference that exists both locally and internationally, the bridges that needed to be mended to ensure that we could fortify our position and move forward. After all these things with drugs, so forth and so on, did you inherit that? Or do you identify these oppositions, these tribulations as a challenge that you can rise to? That's what leadership is. Leadership rise to the challenge. Now, I do believe that our Prime Minister, Brave Davis, has risen to this challenge. But in the spirit of always being able to keep an upbeat, uplifted concept and idea for where we believe the Bahamian people can go, we have to utilize the language that speaks life. That's all I want to say. In the spirit of decency, you could fight me down for that. Leadership requires to be able to speak in the language of both unification and uplifting, because that's what the Bahamian people need now. And so I encourage this Prime Minister, who is seeking another term in office, to be able to execute his sort of ideas and passion to be able to reform the country for growth and development. Language is important. Language is important. And there are going to be political naysayers relentlessly chomping at the bit, seeking to be able to get at you. But you are apex, alpha dog, big dog, and you don't fall to these foolishness. Our language has to be able to reflect the same thing. Lines are wide open. Go ahead. Call on the line with us live. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Howard.
Good afternoon, my brother.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good, man. What's happening with you?
Good. It's my luck here. Listen, Howard. Brian is okay with me, right?
Yeah.
He's my friend.
Okay.
But I don't know why he wants to jump on Dr. Miller's bandwagon. He is forgetting the fact that the very first thing happened when Dr. Miller's got in was the people from Albany parked them in a city like Sardian and told them to stay over. The best thing you can do for us is stay out of our business. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
That's what the investor told them. Stay out of our business. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And he ain't no one mother word. Right? Not only that, yes, give him praise for shutting the country down during the COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? That he, of course, was able to save more lives. But the fact that he can abruptly just shut the country down like that, when the poor people who don't have electricity, don't have no refrigeration, don't have food in the fridge for the night or the following day, no way. Look, the minister in Israel has no second chance.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, Howard, the young people in Freeport don't want to see him.
Mm.
You know? Yeah, I have already, I got in a long time ago. The young people in Freeport do want to see him. So if that's for them what to do with more seats in Freeport, tell them send Dr. Minister there. Okay?
This is
heavy. The country isn't ready for his dictatorship style of leadership. Okay? and actually spending with the bed, the mirror, and all that. Come on, Howard. You know, tell Brian, give me a break. Not only that, right? Brian was mad with Adrian Gibson. He said Adrian Gibson tried to give him a water and sewage check.
Mm-hmm.
Now he in bed with them. Boy, politics sure make strange bad fellows. And then he called Dr. Millett, all kinds of things. Besides a child of God. Come on, man. Tell Brian, give me a break. I don't know what Dr. Millett promised him. But that whatever he promised him, that ain't enough to get Dr. Millett's back.
If you listen to the show, we asked
that
him.
Ain't enough, buddy.
I appreciate you.
People don't want to see him.
I appreciate you that phone call, my brother. If you listen to the show, we ask him straightforward, what did you get promised? He said he wasn't promised nothing. And then I ask him again. I say, shoot straight. What did Dr. Menace promise you if he moved to this kind of position of leadership? He said he didn't get promised nothing. So I want to talk about that. You say he lose more seats to Grand Bahama. I right now in the seats in Grand Bahama right now, right? And then, okay, so Marco City, F&M. Central Grand Bahama, F&M. West Grand Bahama, PLP. Pine Ridge, PLP. East Grand Bahama, F&M. So 2 seats in Grand Bahama right now represent for the PLP. 2 seats. And the question to you is that Grand Bahama can go to the PLP? This is heavy stuff. I think the last time that we would have seen that Pine Ridge, Quasi beat my aunt, my wife's aunt, Ann Pacenti in Pine Ridge. And she had just beat C.A. Smith. This is a phenomenon, and I just want to know whether or not Grand Bahama is going to move back to that. I just don't understand this stuff. It baffles me that Grand Bahamians seek to go to the same people who didn't do nothing for them for a long time, whether it's F&M or PLP. I've watched Grand Bahama erode year after year, like a small drip from a faucet when you leave the soap under it. It erodes very slowly, but surely it erodes. And all they've done is gone from one political party to another and accepted promise after promise after promise. We got a new hospital coming. Y'all watch out. Shark Rock Project coming. Y'all watch out. Gin coming. Y'all watch out. Revival coming in it. And you keep going back and gets nothing. Y'all has confused me. Confused me. You should have just voted for Howard. Anyway, let's go to when I was in Central Grand Bahama, my God, what the worst they could have do? What is the worst that the DNA would have done in Grand Bahama and Central Grand Bahama if you want to put me in there? You didn't had nothing. You can't get no worse than that. Let's talk about it, right? Telephone call on the line. Go ahead.
That's a blade on that.
Go ahead, my brother. What's happening with you?
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Howard Grant.
What you say?
Yeah, I like your monologue, and you highlighted a lot of things that any sensible mind would have questions. And maybe we already know the answer, right? It could be complex or whatever. But, I don't even want to comment on who's cool with who in the political arena, right? But the question you had asked about the previous Prime Minister, why he had allowed the shantytown to proliferate, et cetera, and not just him, everybody else, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I see the Minister of Housing juxtaposing God with a house.
Mm-hmm.
So the black man has nothing spiritual to achieve on this earth different from a car, a house, and a job. They're demeaning us, right? Mm-hmm. But what I'm saying is, there was a geopolitical embarrassment right next to us that no one seemed to pay attention to, the media. So maybe it would do good for Guardian to show, I don't know, there should be a program named What's Not in the News instead of What's in the News. I'm sick and tired of the lack of consciousness and will and public outcry against injustices. And the last caller, he's talking about dictatorship. I guess he's meaning minutes. But, for me, with my level of consciousness, dictatorship is still going on. And so the fact that you cannot express your mind and people want you to think and say what they want you to think, you realize to know that you're not free. And so you are enslaved once you falsely believe that you're free. And really, we are not. Governor DeSantis passed a shantytown law or act or whatever, right, which made it illegal to squat. And for me, that was embarrassing for me because, for 60 years or whatever years, we've been wallowing in the wilderness as the solution to this migrant crisis, et cetera, the government. And you kind of embarrassed me, too, when you said they are arguing over 300 and something million, right? But, a lot of billionaires are sitting back and laughing at that particular conversation. But the money ghouls can never be satisfied, so they tax the Bahamian people and tax us to death.
Mm-hmm.
And then they come in as some socialist savior, when really and truly migration has dealt this economy a great blow. I don't know who's making the money from it, and we know about the ecosystem of corruption everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
It's ubiquitous, all right, and it's sickening. Corruption will exist. You see people crying out for stiffer laws and penalties, but they don't understand that they have to revamp the justice system and also dish out the same punishment and more to government people caught doing the same thing and likewise. It cannot be justice for A, a different justice for B, et cetera, et cetera. You see what I'm saying? So the conversation is meaningless unless the Bahamian people wake up and stop all this polarization BS, man. The country is really sinking. As a matter of fact, the other day the eclipse was on everyone's lips, but little they don't know we are being eclipsed. Bless up.
I appreciate the telephone call, my brother. I think it's important. I think the conversation is meaningless until the Bahamian people wake up. But simultaneously, this is why the conversation is crucial. I believe that if we continue to be able to nudge, some people are very, vigorous in their sort of a shaking and seeking to be able to wake you up, and some people hit you with a gentle, "Good morning, baby." I think all of those contribute to the awakening of the Bahamian people, right? I think the collective of consistency in being able to speak directly to the consciousness of the Bahamian people about where we are and where we need to go is all important. And I think that we would be even in dire straits, in a worse position in the event that we didn't have this level of transparency, access, and opportunity to talk about where we are and where we need to go as a nation. And so I always appreciate your contribution and others who continue to be able to speak truth to power. And that's all we have. We have our voices, and we apply our convictions on the day of reckoning, which is election day. But we do have tools that we could be able to have a come to Jesus moment for those persons who lead us from a political standpoint. These guys are learning from us, man. None of them will admit it, but they're learning from us. They're learning from these conversations that we're having. Their language is shifting day after day. Their minds are being able to open, to expand. They're looking for more information that they can be able to appease the minds of the masses. They know how you're thinking when you give us a call, when you text into the show. They know what to expect from the Bahamian people because they listen to these type of shows. So don't stop. Don't get discouraged. And don't believe that your contribution is meaningless. I feel like sometimes we could all become a little overwhelmed when because this is an instant gratification era. Everyone wants it now. My God, we want it now. We can't wait. We don't have the patience to wait. Our forefathers have gone through so much. My God, you should give it to me today. Yeah, but through patience, we have a greater appreciation for acquisition. And in the midst of acquisition, after we've gotten this patience, now we understand the importance of maintenance. And through maintenance, post-acquisition, this is where sustainability exists. That's the three elements. You got it? That's the thought, word, and deed. The three elements. These things, the triune, the effect that comes together, will lead us to the country that we seek. So I need all your voices, man. Let's be persistent, consistent, and insistent for the country that we envision. Let me take this next telephone call. Caller, go ahead.
Good day. How are you doing, man?
I'm good, man. What's happening with you?
Wonderful, wonderful. I just want to let you know I really appreciate Guardian Radio and the splendid lineup that you guys have, informing the Bahamian people on the policies and the politics going on in the country. And without a doubt, you guys are number one in the country.
Thank you, my brother. I appreciate you, man.
Having said all that, what do you call a person who does the same thing over and over, expecting a different result?
Well, the DNA say we crazy. I think they got that from who was it, Albert Einstein? Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result is insanity. Yeah, it's insane.
That's insanity, man.
Yeah,
that's insanity.
Yeah.
And I holding right in my hand right now the DNA member card in July 2016. Right?
Okay.
Guy was willing to give an alternative party a chance.
Okay.
Mother side of the family, historically PLP. From Finland time, my granddad is one of the stalwarts in the Finland party. Wasn't a signator, but he was a main member in that party. You understand? On the F&M side, my aunt was married to a big-time F&M.
Mm-hmm.
So both sides of the equation, I'm familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
I watched two previous prime ministers sit down right in my uncle's house in Freeport after one, the rally.
Mm-hmm.
Laugh and say, oh, you see what I do to this? You see how I carry on, how I do you? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Good friends, man. You understand what I'm saying? And for Bahamians not to see what's going on in this country and not to give an alternative party another chance, it's really idiotic and insanity.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I have to say.
I appreciate you, man.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, man. I appreciate your telephone call. One of these days I can hit that. I touched it many times for you before. I touched the third party. I told you I was a part of the third force. I told you I thought that joining the DNA for me was the party that understood exactly who. Branville is about 57, 10, about 14, 15 years older than me, right? And so 15 years ago, he was a young man, tenacious, insightful. I think Brian understands that he may not necessarily be the smartest guy in the room. I think he understands that. I don't think there was ever this sort of an idea. There's some guys who walk in the room, they believe they're the smartest in the room. And if you're the smartest in the room, that's the wrong room to be in. So I think that Brian always understood that he's not the smartest in the room. What differentiates him from leaders is that he wears that on his sleeve. If you get close enough to him, you could see that. He wears it on his sleeve. And he's not afraid to identify intellectual capability and strategically put them in place to be able to support an overarching objective. I know Brian, man, I tell you, I rock with the fella for a long time. They bring a bunch of young people into a space, and they had a good cross-section. The second go-round. The first go-round was a bunch of young people. 2011, 2012 was a bunch of young people. And they was cussing left, right, and center. We was rowing about why y'all keep doing this. This is the old way, so forth and so on. Then the party matured a little bit. And I recognize something, and I think Branville McCartney has come to that recognition, that kind of a position where it was an epiphany. I think Orinthia Komolafe has come to that sort of an epiphany standpoint. I think Wayne Monroe, in his particular capacity, came to that epiphany. I think, who else joined? I think Theophanis Kutchamagulis, he has come to that epiphany, right? Who else? I think Prince, they've had that epiphany. All of us had the epiphany. We was already in the party. Wallace Roll, we had the epiphany. We recognized something. This third party ain't going to work in this country. It's not going to work. The conditioning is too strong and too long. We are 50 years behind. We've already conditioned our children's children. Children in the womb believe that they were born F&M and born PLP. While John Boswick say that we are born free. We're born tethered to a political organization. And that is what we fight against. Now the question is, do we fight against this conditioning? Do we fight against this conditioning as a third organization in the hope to God that in 20 years that we could at least get one seat? Or do we join organizations with our conviction our influence and our voice to be able to move the country forward. Because all of us dealing with the same 24 hours. This is the time that we have. And if we promise 70, why waste it on trying to convince someone contrary rather than use your conviction and strength to move forward? Quick commercial break. Be right back after this.
Foundation. Calling all pizza lovers. Craving something extraordinary? Head into Marco's Pizza and try our golden crust deep dish pizza. Made thick and delicious with fresh dough, fresh cheese, and fresh sauce. And baked to perfection with your toppings of choice. No one makes pizza quite as good as we do. Enjoy all this goodness for $14.75 only at Marco's Pizza. Make the right choice and order Marco's at marcospizzabahamas.com.
Bonneville Bones, established in 1970, is the leader in men's fashion in the Bahamas. We're conveniently located in the mall at Marathon and the Harbor Bay Shopping Plaza, and fully stocked with everything you need for all occasions. Our Harbor Bay location is one door north of Alive, with the black and white signage of Bonneville Boutique. Both locations are open from 10 to 7 p.m. Monday through Saturday. Bonneville Bones and Bonneville Boutique, still the leader in men's fashion. Located in the mall at Marathon and the Harbor Bay Shopping Plaza.
The excitement, the fierce competition, the entertainment. On May 4th and 5th, our Bahamian athletes will compete with hundreds of the best from around the world to secure their spot in the Paris Olympics.
Gardner takes the title.
Come witness history as our athletes chase the sun from paradise to Paris at the 2024 World Athletic Relays. May 4th and 5th at the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium. Get your tickets now at worldrelaysbahamas24.org or at the Andre Rogers Baseball Stadium box office.
It's Spa Week, we got what you need. Sit back, relax, and come in for a treat. We just wanna make you smile. We will go the extra mile at Baja Retreat Spa.
Come visit us at Baja Retreat Spa on East Bay Street. Contact us at 323-6711 or visit us online at www.baharetreat.com.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Foundation. Foundation. The foundation. The foundation.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, 96.9 FM Radio. Howard Grant in your company on this Friday, April 12th. If you're celebrating a birthday, happy birthday to you. My son's going to be celebrating a birthday in the next 6 days or so. The fella going to be 18. My God, he wilding out. It's an exciting thing. Everybody growing, time going. The lines are open. I want you guys to be able to participate in the conversation. Please do so. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4316, 325-4259, anywhere from the family of islands, 242-300, 5720. Hit me up, 422-4796. You can be able to do that. That's a text line. I got to shoot straight with you guys. I just have to. I got to be honest with you. I think that we believe that the tribulation that we've endured from the two political organizations, both the FNM and the PLP, over the years, says to us to do away with them. But none of us have gone, I don't think, well, let's just do this. The collective consciousness of the Bahamian people has not given enough consideration to the fact that there are human beings that run these political organizations. That the de facto and the default button to get back to the course, the right course and track was supposed to be the Constitution, is still supposed to be the Constitution of these organizations. Okay? Whether that's the organizations or the country, when we find ourselves going contrary, we're supposed to be able to hit the default, hit the reset button, and that reset's supposed to realign us and take us back to ground zero. And that's from a constitutional standpoint. So the FNM has that, the PLP has that, and the country has that. And we've done everything, every single man who found themselves in leadership, identify a tribulation, packaged it in a particular way, presented it to the Bahamian people, say that we're going to make these particular modifications, and they've campaigned on that, they've made commitments to do these particular things, and when they find themselves in leadership, they are advised against it, or they go against their better judgment in being able to do those things. Because maybe they don't have their internal constitution set straight. My God, I just get deep. I got to calm down. Yeah. That's the only thing. That is an alignment. That is an alignment. Watch me get preachy with you. When Mary saw Mary and the baby's leaped in the womb, that was only because of alignment. That their two spiritual constitution aligned and agreed. I was glad when they said unto me, let us go into the house of the Lord. Glad, joy, the joy of the Lord, all these things, glad, joy, prosperity, that only comes when there is alignment. With a call, which is purpose, and with an alignment, with an application, and moving in the direction that you're supposed to. When they collide, this is where you meet joy. When a man has a constitution and a conviction to be able to do the right thing based upon the purpose that he was called to, and he aligns with the constitution of an organization or the constitution of the Word of God, and he finds himself at the intersection in terms of pursuit of that thing, that's when joy happens. When the righteous are in leadership, the people, my God, I just get way too preachy for y'all. I got to bring my caller in here next time. The little white collar. Yeah, let's shoot straight. The issue that we have with the FNM and the PLP is that they're off course. They are adrift. And no one has their anchor down and find itself back to the constitution of their organizations. The PLP presented themselves as an organization that sought to do that. With the modification of their constitution or whatever they did in terms of being able to rectify or fortify, whatever they did during their course of their hiatus out of government, right? With the apprenticeship programs and being able to have persons vie for a leadership position within organizations, we looked at that and perceived them to be able to move in accordance to their constitution and fortifying that. And then they came in, and as they came in, progressively, they released information to us that we have not forgotten. With their representative, who is the chairman. And the chairman indicate that we have philosophical differences as it relates to how we interpret the Constitution and what is right for the Bahamian people. And he used that for the Freedom of Information Act. That we are opposed in our philosophical pursuit within the PLP to being able to do these things. Why? Because their convictions don't align. And we can never find joy like that. We can't. That's why you won't get rid of the FNM. That's why you won't get rid of the PLP. Because of these men who have not acknowledged their constitutions and have not seek to be able to get their self back home. My God, these are political prodigals. And unless and until they do away and come to their consciousness out of the muck and mire of the political garbage cans that many of them squalor in, and they wake up out of that and find themselves back to the feet of their constitution, they will never be able to be adorned with the ring. and be the apex leaders that they envision themselves being. My God, I just get philosophical with y'all. I try to be decent, but this is my mind. That's the issue we have it. The issue is not the FNM and the PLP. The issue is men who lack the courage to make the decision to get back to what is right for the country. Men who will gumbust about Bohemianization and how it's not been implemented, who will come to you and start to talk about the Immovable Properties Act and get in Parliament and do nothing about being able to right-size this thing for the country. This is the issue that we have. But for many of us who have already gone out on a political limb in this small country and represented third-party forces, and we recognize that, listen, we ain't getting the local support, and we getting castrated and set aside. How do I take what I've been given, this talent, and contribute it to multiply it? You got to get back in line, for the most part. Or you got to get out of the race entirely. And that's from experience. Telephone call on the line? Is a call on the line? Call on the line with us live. Go ahead.
Yes, hello, Howard. How you doing?
I'm good, man. What's happening?
Wonderful. Hey, you watch Django, right?
Yeah, man.
Okay, you fella Steven, who was like the head saucer on the property?
Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah, the real down-to-earth Uncle Tom.
Mm-hmm.
The FNM and the PLP is a bunch of Uncle Toms, you know.
You think so?
Let me tell you why I say that. If you look at every other country that looks out for their people, right? The Jews look out for their people anywhere in the world. The Germans, the Russians, whatever, anywhere in the world, right? When they can ever come together and say people first, you know, I really was like impressed with Brandel, but I realized he just one of them too. Let me tell you why I say that. No leader is bow to another leader and say he better to go and become the leader of the country. You supposed to be fighting, bro. You're a coward. How Howard supposed to back him? How Marlon supposed to back him? Come on, man. Fight. You got 30, 40 years. Fight until it don't stop. Don't stop. Don't be cowardice. And now you lotion up the man. Your integrity gone, right? You gone, Brandel. You show me you was a light fella. You can't do that. You can't lotion. You're supposed to be a fighter for you and for the people. You buttering up the first seat. Come on, man. Come on. You could be the leader of DNA right now, Howard. You got more intestinal fortitude than him. That's what shows you a leader. He don't have no stickability, and he's a dictator because you can be bow to what ministers do. You show you that when your time comes, you can dictate. Anyway,
wow. I appreciate your telephone call, my brother. Thank you so very kindly. I want to be as decent as possible as I do this. Now, y'all know me. You know me. I think you do. I think we've been together long enough for you to understand. You know where I can go with this. If you don't, get ready. When I hear these comments, I only could go back to my training, what I put in me. And then I go back to the story of David and how David was called to be a king. And the Spirit of God has already left Saul. My God, I just get preachy quickly. I got to calm down. It's Friday. Get yourself prepared. Somebody pass the offering plate around. Let's get prepared. The Spirit of God had already left Saul. Okay? Saul had gone contrary to the things that God has required him to do. The Spirit of God had already left Saul. The people of Israel had already prayed for a king. They've identified those things. They got Saul. Saul, the Spirit of God left him. David, a ruddy boy, that's what the Word of God says. He was a ruddy boy. I can imagine how rank he smelled watching sheep all day. Pissy and dirty. And when Samuel came to anoint Jesse's children, David wasn't there. In fact, they never even gave consideration for this little boy because he wasn't nobody to talk about. My God, God was teaching him the whole time, you know. Watch me. The entire time he was teaching him. This man already didn't fight lions and bears, wolves. He was, and listen, he already serenading the sheep out there, learning all these things in the bush. The Holy Spirit teaching him and preparing him for his next step. After the oil fall to his head, he's identified as the king. But that wasn't instantaneous. We talked about instant gratification and our desire to be able to acquire that now. But we learn that for us to be able to retain a position, we have to sit and learn. Despite the fact that we've been called to that, we still got to sit and learn. In the midst of sitting and learning, watch me. Let's get preachy. You got to calm down. David went through trial and tribulation, had an opportunity to be able to kill the man who still sat on the seat as king. Not necessarily had the anointing of king, He still sat on the throne as king. And he cut a little piece of his apron. He said, look here, I got to kill you, But I just want you to know I got to apply myself to what God requires of me. My point to you. True leadership identifies the man on the throne that God has released an opportunity for this season. And they're patient. And now they see me saying nothing else. I just want to be decent. They are patient to move into a space of what they know to be inevitability based upon their faith. It doesn't make any of us lesser than. It doesn't make Brave Davis lesser than. When he sat under Perry Christie, he could have been the prime minister 2 terms ago. Talk to me. But he sat in his position and he held out. It didn't make Hubert Minnis less than when he sat in the position and he held out. Many a man continues to be able to hold on for their time because your time can come. If you're convicted and you believe that it's going to be your time, my God, the thing coming. What we have to learn is patience. And in the midst of that waiting, we serve. That's the concept of waiting. When we wait on the Lord, I heard a message like this when I was young in my Christian faith. The concept of waiting on the Lord wouldn't just stand in there and just saying, oh my God, when God come in Jesus, man, he taking so long. Waiting was like a waiter in terms of service. Rendering service in preparation for something greater to happen. That's the issue that we have. We're not willing to wait and serve in preparation for something greater to happen. Next telephone call. Go ahead, caller.
Hello, Howard, how you doing?
Hi, good. How you doing?
I'm fine, thanks. Listening to you, not 100% agree what you're saying.
Let's go there.
You know you're my friend, right?
I ain't gonna fight you.
Howard, you know what? I don't think no one person who has led before is going to ever get an opportunity again. No more. I think we're going to always, because once you've been there, Howard, if you haven't moved as a country and as a people, I don't think the aim is going to give you that opportunity again. That's just my take. Okay? Because what we fail to realize, right? Until we touch the small man, the persons like myself and possibly you, we don't see it. Okay? Prime Minister traveling, let's use travel for example, right? I don't have much information on where he go off, what he bring back, and so forth, right? I guess so many Bahamians, okay? Whether it's benefiting us or not. I could say I'm not seeing it, I'm not feeling it, or I just don't have enough knowledge. You can hear me so far, Howard?
I'm right here with you. I'm right here.
Okay?
Right now.
What I'm saying is, the money they take to travel, God knows it has to be some money. We still have a dilapidated hospital, right? We still have an overloaded prison. And these things is reality. I could say that because I've worked there for some years now, okay, and nothing changed, okay? We still go in the food store, can't afford to buy groceries. It's like they're giving out more than we receiving, okay? All that money you traveling, going all over the world. How is it benefiting us? So I don't care. You could, all I forever say, if you see they stop these things called contract, trust me, they ain't having the support that they would have, These people you see calling the radio every day, continuously, and Sparky and them, you hear Sparky say so himself. If you see they wasn't benefiting in some way or the other, they won't have no voice, okay? We won't having such a problem as we do. These representatives and stuff, they'll be on their own fighting, trying to scrap for support. But because they keep dishing out these contracts to this one and the next one, that's where these heavy supporters could be on this ready. But guess what? At the end of the day, you know who's going to that poll and vote? These persons who don't have no affiliation with contract, no affiliation with no MP. They don't even know who the MP is. The only thing they can know is they're Bahamian, they have a voter's card, and they could go to the poll, they could vote, okay? They can vote for who they choose to put there. And again, like I started and finish with, no one person right now who had that opportunity to sit as prime minister to ever get another term twice, okay? And that's my humble opinion.
I appreciate your telephone call, my dear. Thank you so much for your telephone call. Let's be able to talk about a few of these things. First and foremost, Ingram got a second chance. He got 2 second chances. Christie was given a second chance. Penland was given about 3 second chances, 3 or 4 second chances. The Bahamian people are committed. I think we've given our children second chances. I think the relationship that was dead, many of us, because of our faith, because of our fear, because of our beliefs, will give it a second chance. I don't believe that the Bahamian people have come to the position where they reject entirely any individual or organization from giving them a second chance. That's just my humble opinion. So I don't believe that the second chance concept is done away with. You just have to kind of rebrand yourself accordingly. Let me take a next telephone call before we get out of here. Call on the line with us live. Go ahead.
What's going on, Howard, man?
All is well, man. What's up?
Everything good. I was trying to get back out there so I could hail you and God on, man, this thing. But, Howard, when Brandon was in the studio talking all that foolishness with you the other day, he had on any goggles?
No, yeah.
He had on any goggles?
No, why? I know he didn't have any goggles, no.
Why? Because he's swimming in plenty vomit. Yeah, he's wasting plenty Perry Christmas.
That is wild what you did just now.
He's swimming in.
That was wild what you did just now. You pulled a whole circle.
Man, he's wasting Christie, man. His body, he talked with Menace. You want to hear what he said with Menace in the 2007?
He said Menace is a liar.
Man, I was Barnwell biggest supporter. I used to be all around this radio making up, but Barnwell let me down, man.
You think
he
so?
Let me down. Now, Howard, this is a good prime minister. You remember during the pandemic, they say Sunday afternoon, 5 o'clock, the prime minister will address the nation. Ministers come on 5 o'clock. Ministers come on to the TV and say, well, immediately after this broadcast, you're going on a lockdown for 14 days. 2 weeks. That's a smart prime minister. No one get no medicine. No one get no water. No grocery in my house. By 7 a.m. the next morning, the news come out and say that canceled. Man, his wife and all tell him, honey, that's the stupidest statement you ever make in your life.
That's what she said. You was there when she said.
Yeah, his wife tell him that, no. All the big time after them, all the Peter Tankers and all them tell him, man, chief, no. That one was really stupid now. Say immediately after the broadcast, we going on a lockdown for 2 weeks now. 14 days.
And he pulled back.
An hour after that, he pulled back on that. How stupid that statement was. And Branwell backing a man like that. Where the Oban files gone missing. Someone else signing the file. All the rest of them got 2 million them on their account 2 months after the general election. This is brave, they even say that in the House Assembly. Huh? 15,000 on Mirror, 20,000 on Rob. That's what Branwell backing? Boy, Branwell, you let me down, boy. You let me down. You that order for politics? Boy, I saw they mean with F&M and PLP, boy. I believe they put something in Branwell Kool-Aid, man. In that red Kool-Aid, they must put something in the middle, put something in that. And swing him, man. There gotta be, man. Because the Branwell I know, this can't be the Branwell who I used to be around, who used to be talking about with the PLP and the F&M.
Well, let's
he's a disgrace to politics now.
Well, we can give him a chance.
Boy, power is a serious thing. All right, man.
I appreciate your telephone call, my brother. We can give him a chance to be able to put all those things at the forefront. Quick, next telephone call before we get out of here. Go ahead. Call on the line. Go ahead. Next caller, call on the line. Go ahead.
Yes, good afternoon. How are you doing?
All is well, my brother. What's happening?
Yes, the lady who was talking about the contracts, I mean, she made a very valid point out. I mean, what we need to start doing is we need to make a list, right? I mean, we need to find some people. We need to make a list of certain things that we want the government to do. And one by one, we need to go down that list and make sure they do that, right? Because I mean, the fact that what we need to start doing, how it is, we need to start to look at where there's a lack in society, right, and who's picking up the slack, right? Because like with the medical, the lack of proper medical equipment, like the dialysis machines and other things that we need to the hospital that we don't have, that individuals have to go to private institutions to get their treatment from, right? That's the scheme. You know what I mean? We need to cut that out because, like I say, wherever there's a lack, somebody picking up the slack, and that's the whole plan. So what we need to start to do, cancel them contracts, and I mean like that ankle monitoring thing. That's 600 persons. I'd like to know what is the cost of that, because I feel as if the police are supposed to be doing their job. So that within itself is a contract that we could take from them people and let the police do it. Because I mean, I heard the police talking the other day, and doing this whole exercise where they're going to switch over the monitoring thing, right? The police want the individuals to come to a church. You know what I mean? I mean, that's supposed to be something that the individuals are supposed to come into the station or some government facility, not a church. So, I mean, I guess they might as well let the people who sign into the police station, they might as well let them sign into the people who do the ankle monitoring too, because that is ridiculous. Like I say, it is unacceptable that we don't have certain machines in the hospital, especially dialysis machines, etc. Ain't no reason why we shouldn't have that, man. You understand where I'm coming from? We need to put our foot down, and we need to stop this thing because somebody's benefiting from the lack. You know, that kind of way. So we need to stop that, man. We can't be having that kind of nonsense in this country, man. People necessities, like I say, dialysis machines and things like that. We're supposed to have too much of them in the hospital. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my brother. I do appreciate you. We got 5 minutes before we get out of here. I see one more telephone call. I got to touch this. The ankle monitor machine, based upon the information I had, was $2 and some cents an hour. Just under $3 an hour per ankle monitor. This is the information that I've received. It was $2 and some cents an hour, just under $3 an hour per machine, 24 hours a day. For you to be able to access this and have opportunities for this, you have to be able to forge relationship with an international organization whose commitment is to be able to look over these. That happens locally here in the Bahamas, that happens throughout the Caribbean, and that happens in the United States of America, Europe, so forth and so on. There are companies who have a license. They have all the technological equipment to be able to watch this ankle monitoring program on a day-to-day basis. The people who watch over these ankle monitoring systems are trained to understand the technology. They're trained for that. There is representatives in the rooms. Let's say they have a war room. They have to have a war room. There's a room identified. If you read the contract, you can see that there is a room identified by the Royal Bahamas Police Force with neutrality that is able to secure the persons who are monitoring these systems 24 hours a day. There are representatives from the Royal Bahamas Police Force who is, I know, simultaneously being trained on how to be able to utilize these things to pick up on all this information. There is no one who has gone directly. I don't think that they have this division just yet. Maybe they're working on it. Maybe they're looking to be able to incorporate this particular thing within the Royal Bahamas Police Force. But the fact of the matter is that this is a technological arm that is being able to fortify the responsibility that the government has to make this easy, accessible, and provide the liberty and movement of those persons that are on this particular program. The Royal Bahamas Police Force can't do all this by themselves. And this is an opportunity for entrepreneurs to be able to access and get a job. This is how some of us, I say us because I in this field, just feed our children. Creating an opportunity from disparity to fortify how we live in this country. I don't think we should throw these people under the bus. I don't think so. I think that the last company understood that they did some things wrong. I have way too much information about what happened, and I care not to discuss it. But the last company know that there was a significant infraction, and this company who just received it, we understood that this was going to happen. I had significant conversation. I got all the documentation. I could tell you. There is an expectation that this should be. They didn't even have the proper equipment. You want to save as much money as you can and get shoddy equipment. These fellas was taking off their ankle monitors with a pin. and leaving it home, putting it on the cat. The last company had over 100 of the 600, 100 people on the program was unaccounted for, and they couldn't answer for it. They're getting paid $2 and some cents an hour per machine of people that they can't find. Let's shoot straight with these particular things and have a very good conversation. I think that's the end of the show today, guys. I want to thank you so very kindly for that. And thank you for the opportunity to be able to talk about this with transparency. Let's talk about national growth and development, man. Let's understand that this is just not the same rigmarole. This is not the same old. We're entering our conviction into the consciousness of the Bahamian populace with an expectation that there will be change. There will be growth and development. And we are making an impact every single day. I want to thank you guys so much for being able to tune in. I'm going to see you on Monday. Enjoy your weekend. Have a beautiful time. I'm going to see you on Monday right here on The Foundation.
The Foundation.
The Foundation with Heart Grants is brought to you by Alive, Baja Retreat and Spa, Bond for Bones, Burger King, Commonwealth Bank, Da Vinci Printing Innovators, ESC Distributors Limited, Grand Bahama News, the IAAF World Relays Bahamas, and Marco's Pizza.